Peace family, it's your brother King Cam back with another video. Today I want to teach you something that I think is very important to us as parents, those of us who are parents raising children up in today's world. I believe this is very, very important. Now, I was watching the Breakfast Club interview with Dr. Phil, and they spoke on a young sister by the name of Treasure that came onto his show and actually believes in her mind that she is white. Yeah. And she came on the show and she said a bunch of horrible things, terrible things as it pertains to black people. And you know, I thought it was very, very interesting, and I also thought that this could be used as a very good teaching moment, especially to our youth. So what I want to do is I want to play y'all the video, check it out, and then
I know a lot of people take issue with my beliefs. I'm white. I'm a Caucasian because everything about me is different from an African American. I have naturally straight hair. My hair isn't nappy. It doesn't require weave. My nose is not giant as like African Americans. My lips are perfect. They're not too big and they're not too small. Like, they're just perfect. My ears, I don't have black people ears because they're really giant. Most African Americans speak ghetto. But when it comes to black people, I think they're all ugly and I have nothing in common with them. I'm different from African Americans because I'm white. My figure is just like Kim Kardashian, and she's a wonderful role model. I act and I think like a white person instead of a black person. I believe that I'm completely and utterly better than them. Like, we're on two different levels. Like, okay, African Americans are here, I'm here. White people act and think just way more mature than African Americans. Black people, they think in a criminal way. When I think about African Americans, I feel like asking them, what is wrong with them? They're really dangerous. If an African American is on the same street as I am, I'll cross the street to avoid their chaotic, thuggish ways.
Are you okay?
I'm irritated.
I'm sorry.
I just know that I'm white. I mean, she might not know that I'm white, but I know that I'm white. I can feel it through my veins. I feel it through my blood. I tell my mom I'll never be like any of those Negroes. My mom tries to criticize me about my supposed race. I tell her she's just ignorant. There's nothing wrong with my views or beliefs because I have freedom of speech and everything I'm saying is true.
Okay, so y'all saw the video, y'all heard what she said. And my thoughts are that this is why knowledge itself is so important. Knowledge of yourself is so important, especially to our youth, because after seeing that video, you see the effects of what happened when you are whitewashed or your thinking is clouded or tainted by images of people that do not look like you. So public schools in history class, when they're taught about George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, you know, powerful white men and European history, this is the type of thinking and type of mindset that can be produced if we as parents don't take up the mantle to teach knowledge itself. It's very, very important because our youth are being affected, as you can see. And she wholeheartedly believes, one, that she is a white person, a Caucasian, or Dr. Phil is paying people to, you know, come on the show and just say crazy things. But I was watching his interview on the Breakfast Club, and he and Envy or Charlamagne mentioned the fact that, do some of these people come on your show and do you have them come on just to boost ratings? And Dr. Phil said no, because the ratings are already locked in prior to the season or the beginning of the show starting or airing. So the people that they bring on have no effect on the ratings whatsoever. And we're not here to condemn our sister, because she just doesn't know. So she's very young. She still has a long way to go. But the importance of self-knowledge is vital, because if not, then you'll have these situations, and the things that come out her mouth will come out of the mouths of other youth if we don't fix the problem. So in the Nation of Islam, we are taught knowledge itself. You learn through knowledge itself, you and my rich history. you learn about the kings and queens and scientists and, mother and father of civilization that we are as black people. The importance of melanin. You understand? See, the scripture says that God created us in his likeness and his image. And it also says in Psalms that ye are all God's children of the Most High God. So if we are children of the Most High God who were made in his image and likeness, and the most honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that God created himself from the triple darkness of space. So that means black people are the direct image of God himself, what he looks like. And that's so important to our youth, because if they don't know that, then they'll believe that the epitome of success is a George Washington or a Thomas Jefferson or a George Bush or a Bill Gates or a Mark Zuckerberg. You understand? So we have to teach that rich history. Mother and father of civilization is the black man and black woman. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad said, when you see a black man, you looking at God. That is so profound. The Bible gives us a direct description of Jesus. Head of wool. You understand? Huh? Feet, the same color as bronze. You understand? So with these descriptions, is showing you who these important people were. These were black people. These were black people. Civilization. Ancient Kemet was a wonderful, wonderful civilization. Huh? We had cities. We had homes. We had irrigation. We had so many things. Transportation. Wheels. The wheel. Flight. Cars. We had all of these things so long ago. But when our children go to school, they believe that the Wright brothers invented the first airplane. They believe that Henry Ford had the first automobile, even though he didn't design the automobile. He designed the plant, which he stole from George Washington Carver. But these important facts about our history is what's missing in the youth today. So then this is what produces our little sister. See, she doesn't know about the Black Panthers. She doesn't know about Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, the honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, Martin Luther King, Assata Shakur, Angela Davis, Rosa Parks. See? She doesn't know about all of these great, great, great black individuals that played key roles in our history and fought for our freedom. Nat Turner. See? Sojourner Truth. We could go on and on and on. Because our history really has no beginning. Really has no beginning. So it's so important that we teach our children who they are, where they come from. Because if not, then it leads to a detrimental future for our own, for ourselves. See, this is why the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, go after the youth. Go after the youth, because they have young minds that need to be cultivated. Young minds that need the truth. See? See? The most honorable Elijah Muhammad said, teach your children Islam, which is the truth. See? And Jesus said, the truth shall set you free. So if the truth shall set you free, and Islam is the truth, then this is what we need to be telling our children. So the truth is the real history of black people in America. The real history of black people in other parts of the world. Because I'm not even going to just say Africa. Because we get so caught up on this African theme and everything about Africa. Yes, Africa is the birthplace of civilization. Africa is the Holy Lands. But before the continents broke up into all these different ones, and they were named by European explorers, like Africa was and America was. See, it was one landmass called Asia. One landmass. This is why in the Nation of Islam we are taught that we're not the African people or the African black man, but yet we are the Asiatic black man. See? Original. Because black is not a race. Black is the essence from which all colors come from. See? See? So it's so important that we understand this information. And parents, if we're not giving this information to our children, if we're not teaching, if we're not combating the history that they're being given in school, because we're not able to homeschool, we're not able to get them into a school that teaches a knowledge of self and things like this, then we have to make sure that we're doing it at home. We have to take up and sacrifice that extra time to do it at home. So they need to see videos like this. Or if you're doing your own study, then you need to be teaching it. But the point is, we have to develop those minds, the young minds of our children, so they don't end up like our sister. You know? And I'm hoping that she watches this video, other videos that come out and try to help her with the knowledge of self, because we're not trying to condemn. We're not laughing at her. We're not making memes about her. We're not doing anything like that, because this is a teaching moment. This is how we're able to advance, by teaching, but not by making fun. See? So what we want to do is educate her mother. We want to educate the family on things that she need to know, so she doesn't continue to go in the way that she's going. See? Because our time in America, through all of these rituals and through different white supremacy based religions, teaching us that you don't see color, teaching our children that there is no color, there is no racism, but yet and still they go out into the world and the reality is something totally different. They go out into the world and they actually experiencing this. So it's important that we keep it real. I'm just got to say it like that. It's important that we keep it 100, you know? Because we can't tell our children during Christmas time, after you done went out and bought all those gifts that they really didn't need, tablets and things like that, that they not playing with, other things that they not going to play with 2 months after you bought it, but then go telling them that some white man bought it for them. He came down the chimney. You understand me? You know, big fat white dude. He go around the whole world in 24 hours, dropping off all the gifts. You know, just a bunch of lies. Really. And our children are smart. Children are smart these days, and they gonna know you lying. So you might as well just keep it 100. Keep it 100. Because what's happening is through this subliminal programming, which is called social engineering. Media is dangerous when it's used improperly. Media is so dangerous when it's used improperly. That's why it's important to support black media. See, that has a unfiltered truth that's going to give you authentic media. It's not a social engineering program or a social engineering experiment used to sway the opinions of the masses. See, because that's what mainstream media is. So it propagates or puts out propaganda to sway people's opinion. So right now, it's going into the Halloween situation. So they putting up all of these different commercials and pumpkins and spook things going on. You know, a lot of craziness going on. Then next thing you know, it's gonna be Thanksgiving. But next thing you know, after that, it's gonna be Christmas, and they're gonna have all the bells and whistles and trees and decorations and everything there to get you to spend money based on tradition. Okay? Based on tradition, but we don't have our own infrastructure. We don't have our own businesses properly the way we should. We don't have our own educational institutions like we should, so we wouldn't be having our sister on Dr. Phil. You understand me? See, but the propaganda in the media is using and playing on emotional heartstrings as well as tradition based on religion. Follow me now. Based on religion, and that Jesus' birthday is December 25th, okay? To get you all tied in and all wrapped up into all of this foolishness. See? So we have to keep that in mind. See, when the most honorable Elijah Muhammad spoke on the battle in the sky, and see, then the minister went deeper into it. It was not a battle literally in the sky in one sense, because it is, but that's a lecture for another day. That's a video for another day. But on the other hand, it's also talking about the mind. See, right now we are in a battle for our minds. We are in a battle for our children's minds. So that is the real battle in the sky that we are engaged in today. See, this is the control center. So when our brother Kanye talked about slavery being a choice, he wasn't talking about physical slavery being a choice. He was talking about the mental enslavement that we suffer in 2018 due to the fact that we are lost from a lack of knowledge. See, we don't have the proper knowledge that allows us to be free of the mental slave, of the mental chains. So it's so important that we get this. And the Nation of Islam is always going to be relevant. It's even more relevant today than it was before, because this is the minds that we growing up. These are the minds that we cultivated in the Nation of Islam through the knowledge itself. The Nation of Islam has black cartoons that's coming out. The Nation of Islam teaches on our true and real history. The Nation of Islam gives us the knowledge of God himself, the true knowledge of Jesus. See? So now, when you put that truth into the minds of the children, then they grow up and they believe in themselves now, and thus become successful. They have positive role models. They understand their rich and positive history. So now they have a blueprint that'll help them be elevated in this life and help them move on to do great things, man, because that's what our people do. That's what our history is, accomplishing great things, the scientists of this universe. See, in our lessons we are taught we are God of the universe, and in the Bible it teaches you that God gave man power to subdue the earth and everything in it. Gave you power and dominion over it. See? So when the Bible and the scriptures are giving you this teaching, then we have to couple it with the true history of ourselves in order to obtain the fullness of our life and the fullness of our essence, being direct descendants of God himself. See, so that's why the mind is such a powerful tool, and why there's a battle for the mind right now, man. See, the minister said if they won't treat you right, they won't teach you right. So you got to look at who taught you what you know now. Who taught you self-hate? Who taught you not to love your people? Who taught you not to love yourself? Who taught you not to read? When we were slaves, we couldn't even read. It was against the law on the plantation to read, to pray, and to do anything that resembled your culture, be taught anything that resembled culture prior to being a slave. See, so they knew what they was doing when they were cultivating this new human being, which is the Negro. See, it was a specific science and tactic that went into it. If y'all know, y'all familiar with the Willie Lynch letter, it talks about how you obtain certain things. So check this video out from the minister here.
Islam is the nature of God, and the nature in which he created man and created the universe. Well, then what is Islam? I never heard nothing about it. No, white folk are not going to tell you about your natural religion. They made you into Christians. And they found it not incompatible that you should be a Christian and a slave at the same time. Talk to me. We weren't even allowed to read. And if white folk, some of them began to teach us how to read, they would be whooped or punished. How do you take a people from reading? So the first words that the prophet heard from Jibreel in the cave at Mount Hira in Arabia was Iqra, read. The prophet said, but I can't read. Allah didn't say, well, he said it again. Read. And he said it a third time. Read in the name of your Lord, who creates from a clot and taught man what he knew not by means of the pen. Read. So the first act of God to his prophet was to tell him to read. And the worst thing that the white man wanted was a black man that could read. That shows you he's the enemy of God and the enemy of man and your enemy. Now wait a minute. I'm not here to play with you. And I don't need acceptance. I just want us to know the truth.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
For 300 years, we were denied the right to read, to know. Think about that.
Yes, sir.
That's a long time to be devoid of the material of reading. And even when the Western Hemisphere was being conquered, you have the Inca.
Yes, sir.
You have the natives of South America that were scholars. They built civilization. So when the Europeans came, they destroyed their libraries.
That's right. That's right.
And when we did learn to read, they had specific things they wanted us to read. And number one was the Bible, and not the whole Bible, but certain parts of the Bible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Certain parts. Don't steal Massa's chicken.
That's right.
If they slap you on one cheek, be sure you show them the other. Love your enemies. Pray for those who despitefully use you. See, that's out of the context of the reality. They bring it out because it's true now, but it's only true if it's applied in the proper context.
Okay, so you see how the minister broke that down, talked about the importance of reading, how the slave masters kept us from being able to read, and the social engineering experiment they were able to put together with black people not reading. 300 years, he said. 300 years we weren't able to read, which deprived us of the proper knowledge in order to build civilization. See, so the minister break it down real beautifully, boy. So that right there teaches us that it's so important to have self-knowledge, to read. So if you are going out holiday season to buy gifts and things of that nature, make sure that it's going to be some books included in that, because reading is very fundamental. And not just reading, but reading the proper material, reading the proper books that give you the proper knowledge. Like he said, give it in the right context. So blackness is such a powerful thing. Blackness is beautiful. Black is the origin. It's the essence. It's the original. Black is the original. I want y'all to understand that, family. I appreciate y'all for checking this out. Y'all have a blessed day. Peace.